Happy release day from Brass and Bliss. This is our Black Friday sale, and I am so excited for this one, guys. There was so much from this release that I requested that I think I made 4 or 5 cards for this release when we only have to make like 2, I believe. Guys, I couldn't stop making cards. Especially, and honestly, I had so many more from this postage die. If you know me, you know I love the postage die stamp sets. They're so fun, and Brass and Bliss came out with a new one. Has lots of little and long strips, so when I seen it, I was like, yes, I think I know a way I'm going to use these. We got out our INCHIEs, our Christmas INCHIEs. That is a longtime favorite stamp of mine. You need this one. They're so cute, and they fit perfectly in the 3 little long strips on this postage die. I cut them down, as you can see there. And then I use Santa, a little snowman, and a reindeer in here to make little scenes. So that's the one reason I love postage dies, is like there's just so many ways to use them. You can use them exactly how they are meant to be. You can use them like I'm doing here. There's just so many different ways. All right, so I put these in my MISTI here and taped off all of the edges because there is not, unfortunately, a stencil for this one. So just taped off the edges. Honestly, it was pretty easy. You're going to see right there. I think that my grip mat moved when I did this, and I wanted them a little bit lower. But I did not want to recut this die, and I did not want to retape all of this. And honestly, it was like such a minor move that I was like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's not gonna ruin anything. So definitely remember, it's just paper. It's not perfection. These are handmade. So, have a little grace. All right, so we got those inked down with our alcohol-friendly black ink from Honeybee. Just always remember when you're using your alcohol markers that you do need an alcohol-friendly ink so that it doesn't smear. One part that I did not put in here is I just put a sheet of masking paper down and re-stamped those out. Fussy cut those. I figured you did not want to see that. And fussy cut those out so that we could have some masks so that I could just ink blend straight over these backgrounds, and also so that I could stamp the trees from that stamp set in the background to give us a little bit of a background. If you are confident enough in your drawing skills, you could also just use your alcohol markers to draw in trees, and then you don't have to do all this masking. You could also just use your alcohol markers to make the backgrounds on these again, so you don't have to do the masking. So here I am. I'm just fitting in those trees every which way. Again, using my alcohol ink. Your key idea to inking or masking is that you want to have what you want in front stamped first. So obviously I wanted my Santa, my reindeer, and my little snow guy to be in the front of the scene. So you will always stamp them first, and then anything in the background goes behind them, and then that's what you would mask off. All right, so we are finishing that up. Oh, looks like I wanted to mask. What are we doing here? Now I'm making, that's how we made our masks for our trees. So I'm going to make 3 masks. I'm sorry, not 3 masks. I'm going to make 1 mask for the tree and just move it over. All right, so we are getting out our Color Fuse ink cubes. There we go. That was a lot to say. And I believe I'm just using Sky, so perfect. And just ink blending. Honestly, this does not need to be perfect. It is just the sky. And then I did use a brown. After I did that, I was like, well, the snowmen probably shouldn't have been in brown. But, again, let's Once the card is put together, I don't think that anybody is honestly going to notice that. But, I mean, if you want it to be snow, definitely just leave it white. You don't even have to color the bottom half of it. But, you know, I guess I wanted dirt. I'm not sure. I don't think that I was thinking too much about that part. And then I was like, oh, shoot. It would have definitely been snow. But, you know, we have a little bit of dirty snow, right? All right. I am just using small detailing brushes for this, as I didn't, you know, it's a small area. So you can use a bigger blending brush. I just didn't want it to go all over. So I did just, it was probably just easier to use a small blending brush. Definitely be careful on the edges of that mask, especially since I have now peeled this mask up twice. You usually can use your mask over and over again, but if ink does get underneath a mask, they don't like sticking to wet or inky things. And so it tends to pull up in those corners. But honestly, I'm probably going to go over this with green for the trees, and you know, I can easily cover that up. Save all of your masks. You don't have to do all that fussy cutting every single time. Usually you can use your mask 2 or 3 times, just depending on how much ink you put down. So I will always put my mask on the cover sheet of the stamp, right over the stamp image, so that I can use those again. And because honestly, I'd probably be more apt to use them again if I know that they're already fussy cut out. All right, so we're going to get to the good part of the coloring. This is going to take most of the rest of the video, is this coloring, but hopefully we'll go through it pretty fast. I did speed it up to 2 or 3 times here. I am going to use, I mean, they're very small, so we are going to use a pretty small, or pretty, not so many colors. There we go. Gosh, I have to get, words are hard for me today. I'm sorry. Even on my live this morning, words were hard for me. So let's talk about, oh, we are going to use R8, and these are Ohuhu alcohol ink markers. They are also the old colors. So if you have the new markers and the new color caps, you will have to convert them. I'm sorry. I just haven't converted them yet anywhere, so I will probably work on that here in the, you know, down season, not during Christmas season, to start converting my either my caps or getting a conversion sheet for you guys. But I use R8, R180, and R230 for my red, my Christmas red. That's just what I love. You will see a few Copics jump in there, as you just seen one. For skin tones, when Michaels had one of their great deals, I did go out and buy 5 Copic markers just for skin tones. And for the one issue I always have with Ohuhus is that their color range doesn't go light. So I did go get some E00 and 000s and B00 and B000s, as you see right there, as they just don't have anything this light. So I am starting to compensate my stash with some Copics, just some. Otherwise, I love my Ohuhus. So, but we all know they, you know, for the price range, they are amazing. They just will have their faults. So, all right, so there we go. I use those. You could use MG100 for this. That is a pretty light blue. It's a little bit more gray also for snowmen if you have Ohuhus. Always remember, whites should be shaded just to give them, so they don't look unfinished. And they, oh, you know, Santa's beard has a little bit of gray in there. So we will use our CG020, CG030s for those. And I'm just flicking that in there. if you haven't visited Brass and Bliss's release, definitely do that. Like I said, this one is so good. It's not a Christmas release at this point. There are Christmas things in there, but there is a mosh posh of Christmas things, including graduation dies, which I have been asking for forever. And I love that, so that we can get started on those graduation cards after the new year, especially for like colleges that are graduating. There are these design die plates. You're going to see me use those in my graduation cards. I love them. They do not cut out the edge of your card, so you can use them wherever in your card. They just die cut designs into your card, and I had been fun at using those. Like I said, there is just so much in that release that you really need to go check it out. This was only one thing, but I do know that the postage stamp die craze right now, so I definitely wanted to use this one to show even more versatility of this die set. All right, we're going to be moving on to our little snow guy. I love that combination. I do believe, I didn't show it, which shame on me, but I do believe it was PB10 and PB8, I believe. But that is one of my favorite teal combinations. Then we are going to move on to our reindeer. I will show the combination, I do believe, here in a second. I just need to get better. I was doing so good at putting my caps down, guys. I was doing so good. I think I do it here. Yep, there we go. I'm like, I think I do. I'm like, oh yeah. So we have E370 and 210 that I am going to do tip to tip between, just because I want that lighter color to be around his face so you can see those eyes. So 210 for his belly. I believe this is, this is E450 also, which was my darkest color. So E450, E370, and E210 for my reindeer. And I'll use the darkest for his little antlers too. There I am using that tip to tip just to give me a little shadow in there. Let me know below, do you love to do coloring with your alcohol markers? Are you intimidated by them? I used to be. I know that I got my Ohuhu markers for a minute and never really touched them, and now I love to color everything. So learning a lot from amazing colorists out there. But we're going to move on to the trees. So we're going to be GY43, and then we'll move on. I use tons of different combinations for my trees. Sometimes I even put 300 in there, which is way more olivey. But I did not, I don't believe I did this time. And then you also could leave snow on these trees. Then we were moving on to G370, I believe that is. Yep, 370. No, 270. So sorry. And again, you can use, I think that I do believe this. I meant to leave snow, and then I technically, right here, and I will tell you my mess up, technically my shadows are on the wrong, and your shadows really should go underneath the trees and not at the bottom of the trees. So that's where I was going to do it. And then I was like, oh shoot, I put the shadows at the wrong end. But then I was like, oh wait, no, your snow would be shadowing. Anyways, it was a whole thing. They're green. They're perfect. It's still Christmassy. All right, so with all that tape, the tape was leaving the white border around these. And honestly, I just lined it up as there's little edging from the die. We are going to, so from there, I knew I wanted them to pop a little bit more. We are using the, oh gosh, I think it's the Winter Wonderland pack. I will link that below for you guys. No, it's Joys of Burrows. It's the Joys of Burrow one. That's right. Again, I'll link that one below for you. Don't forget that everything is 20% off in this release. So head on over there. Definitely use the links in this video below because it will help me let me know that you loved this video and get you that 20% off. So I honestly just glued these right to the card base. That makes it so that I don't have to cut two sides, and we can get a little bit more even sides there, and I don't have to measure. I was like, oh yeah, we're not measuring today. So if you just glue them right onto the paper, two sides of measurements are already done. Using my Tim Holtz guillotine trimmer. Love this thing. It makes super quick and easy cuts and measures all the way out to 6 inches. So all the card needs. Then we are just going to use a piece of white paper. You're going to see me do this again because I made a mistake. I did leave it in here because I like to show that everybody makes mistakes and it's okay. So we're going to use that gorgeous red, I think it's snowflake paper. Yeah, it's snowflake paper. We are cutting that down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 with our matted white paper. Glue that down with our Barely Arts glue. This is my favorite glue. I will die on that hill. I love this glue, guys. Never had an issue with it. I do live in a pretty humid area of Michigan, so that might be if you have heard people say that it clogs up. I don't know. I have never had an issue with it. I'm going to put that in my Misty, and we are going to use our sentiment from, I believe, the Merry Christmas. Guys, sorry, I did this card quite a lot. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the Merry Christmas stamp set. Love the stamp set because it says Merry Christmas in like 20 different fonts. If you can't find a font on this set of stamps, I don't know what you're gonna find. I don't know where you're gonna find it. So I loved this little playful set or playful font. So I'm gonna put this down, and here is where my lovely mistake is gonna be. We're gonna line that up, and then I don't even know what happened. Honestly, we're gonna watch together. I do remember I made a mistake. I think I dropped, or I felt like see right there, my grip mat, it moved again. So we had that issue in the beginning of the video, and we have that issue now, and that's mainly because my grip mat is very dirty, and so I need to clean off the edges of it so that it sticks to the bottom of my Misty actually. So what I did is I just covered that white piece of paper again. So now we're just gonna have a double base. Everything will be fine. I was like, nobody's ever gonna know except for all of the people that watch this video, but nobody will ever know. And we're gonna put that straight over that again. And like I said, it lines up perfectly. It's the same size. So try not to freak out, but always try and remember to move your grip mat or whatever you're stamping on to that corner. I just always forget that. And honestly, my grip mat usually never moves. I just need to clean it right now. All right, so there we go. We re-inked that, stamped that down. It's so cute. I love that font. And we popped those up on some foam tape and put them down. Is that we have the Cutest card. I love this card. Love how it turned out. Don't forget to head over to Brass and Bliss to get your 20% off this release and the whole store for Black Friday. Guys, let's get those Christmas cards done, and I will have all of the links in the description below. See you till next time.